Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Ant on Music. I am your host, Ant, and I want to welcome you to my podcast. Thank you for checking out the channel if you're new here. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back again. And if you keep coming back, thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course, want you to subscribe, so please subscribe. Hit that button below. And we'll get into the music. So, kind of a mixed bag this week. Only a couple of new releases. No new box sets, but I'm going to show you an old box set just because it fits in with one of the new releases that came out. It's one that most people probably haven't seen. Nothing spectacular, but it is cool in its own way. So, start off with what happened with Ozfest again. So, one of the big things that came out of Ozfest was Youngblood put on a spectacular performance, and he got a lot of accolades, and rightfully so. The kid knocked it out of the park with changes. The other person that picked up a hell of a lot of cred, who really, in my mind, had it all along, was Nuno Betancourt from Extreme, and I've mentioned that before. But because he got a lot of accolades and got a lot of praise and has done a lot of interviews, I decided, let me go back and explore more of the older Extreme catalog. So I went fishing around, and I came up with two of their earlier LPs. They've only released 6 as a unit, which is kind of crazy because they've been around since the late 80s. And I picked up 2 music on vinyl releases. I do love music on vinyl, that label. They do some quality re-releases and new releases as well. So what I picked up was Extreme 2, Pornography, and this is a great album. As far as the packaging goes, really not much. Basic black album on this one with nothing inside, all right? But the real magic's in the music on this, and it kicks off with an excellent song called Decadence Dance. Then you get Little Jack Horny. When I'm President, which is still relevant today, one of the bigger tunes, Get the Funk Out. More Than Words, everyone's heard that one, the ballad. Money, In God We Trust, and another ballad, Wholehearted, which I absolutely love. Side 2 kicks off with It's a Monster, then you get the title track, Pornography. When I First Kissed You, which is another ballad, very old school type of ballad, almost like a crooner type ballad from like the 40s. Susie Wants Her All Day, which is another funked up song by them, and He-Man Woman Hater, and finishes off with Song for Love. And it's a damn good album. I mean, I remember when it first came out, I was totally blown away by it, and I still dig it today, and I was glad that I could find this on vinyl. And even more surprising, I was really thrilled to pick up 3 Sides to Every Story. Once again, nothing spectacular as far as the packaging goes, but they did give us this poster on one side. Poster on one side, and you get your lyrics and liner notes on the other side. And this album is excellent as well. On it, kicks off with Warheads, and then Rest in Peace, which is a cool tune. Political Calamity, Color Me Blind, Cupid's Dead, Peacemaker Die, which is awesome. 7 Sundays, Tragic Comic, Our Father, Stop the World, which is great. God Isn't Dead, Don't Leave Me Alone. And then side 4 is the track Everything Under the Sun, which consists of Rise and Shine, Am I Ever Gonna Change, and Who Cares. It's just excellent. And this is a double vinyl set. So it was, getting back into Nuno and giving him the respect that he deserves, as you all should. Next thing that I found, this was, this is one of those things. I was out walking, and I said, let me just scroll around and, see what I can find on Amazon Music. And I realized I'd never listened to Yes Symphonic. And I was like, let me check this out. I was in a very mellow mood, wasn't looking to do any screaming and yelling and head banging. So I said, let me check this out. And I did. And the Yes Symphonic album is actually excellent. I don't know how the hell I skipped over it, because if you've come to this channel numerous times, you see that I have a big devotion to Yes. They've always been one of my favorite prog bands, and I really dig them. And with this was double vinyl, and it came out on 100% virgin vinyl. It's kind of reflective there. And it came with the CD, which is kind of cool. So let's take a look at that. And it is a gatefold sleeve. All right, so here's the front cover with the crop circles on there, and the back with the tracks that are on the wax. And inside, We get our liner notes, which really not much to say there, as well as uh, the track listing. And here we have the CD, which mimics the album itself, and it's got everything that the vinyl has on it. Starts off with their overture, then you get Close to the Edge. You get the orchestral intro, Long Distance Runaround, Don't Go, Starship Trooper, and You and I've Seen All Good People, Owner of a Lonely Heart, and Roundabout. And that is mimicked right here on this. And the thing that I found unusual about this, aside from the fact which it was with orchestra, which was really cool. A lot of bands do orchestra stuff, and sometimes it falls flat on its face. Yes, music really does lend itself to that orchestral treatment. The thing that I found most unusual about this, you have the classic lineup of Anderson, Howe, Squire, and White, but no regular keyboard player. I would figure that Rick Wakeman would have fit in perfectly with this, but instead they had Tom Brislin on keys for this album as a one-off, which was quite unusual, considering the long history of Yes and keyboard players, Wakeman, Mraz, you name it, Igor, can't remember Igor's last name, Korshenkov, I think. They've had a fair number of keyboard players over the years. And, it's a great album. If you've never heard it, and I didn't until a week ago, definitely go pick it up. It's worthwhile. So, that brings us to our two new releases and then our box set. Our new releases, one's new, one's a re-release, okay? The first one this album hasn't seen the light of day in 40 years. I saw it in a used shop, not the best condition either, and it was like $60, and I couldn't bring myself to spend the $60 on it at the time. And it's one of those things where it's like I went back, I kicked myself because I didn't get it, and I'm glad I finally got it. Short album, only 36 minutes, talking about Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham with the Buckingham Nicks album. And I'm not sure if you know the story about this. So, Fleetwood Mac was at a crossroads. And Mick Fleetwood had gone searching for a studio in California to record what was going to be the next Fleetwood Mac album. He goes to, Sunset Sound? Let me see. I know the story, but Sound City in Los Angeles. That's what it is. Not Sunset Sound. Sound City. And he goes to Sound City, and as he's in there to check out, the studio, he hears this playing, and he was so blown away. He was like, "Well, who the hell is this? What are we listening to?" And a guy who owned the studio was like, "Oh, that's young couple, female singer Stevie Nicks, and this guy Lindsey Buckingham plays guitar," and it's like he goes, "Oh my God!" Next thing you know, they're given an offer to join Fleetwood Mac, and that really changed the course of history for Fleetwood Mac and changed the fortunes of Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. But that doesn't mean that this album isn't good. This album is good. This album's really good, and it was what got them into Fleetwood Mac. And like I said, it changed the course of musical history. Short album. Show you the back as well. And it does come on a lovely baby blue vinyl. It got some cool players on here too. Waddy Wachtel, Jim Keltner, among others. So we'll take a look at the vinyl. Very neat opaque baby blue vinyl there. So, I didn't really know any of the tracks too well, but I started listening to it in earnest over the past week because I had heard one or two over the course of time, but never the full album in its complete entirety. And like I said, short album. It has "Don't Let Me Down Again," "Long Distance Winner," "Crying in the Night," "Without a Leg to Stand On," "Crystal," "Races Are Run," "Lola My Love," "Frozen Love." And like I said, the musicians got Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, Hoppy Hodges, Jim Keltner, Ronnie Tutt, Waddy Wachtel, Mark Tulin, and Jerry Sheff, along with Peggy Sandvik on keys and a string section. It's a pretty fair split as far as who wrote what on the album. Definitely, if you've never heard it, check it out. And if you have heard it, I'm not lying to you. You know it's a good album. So this is where we change gears dramatically. All right. And we're going to go from, like, we had some hair metal, had some prog, some folk rock. Uh, Never going to believe this one. Now, this was, I don't know why it shocked me, because they have worked with Disney before, talking about Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. This time it's under the guise of Nine Inch Nails, and it's for the new motion picture Tron Ares. And there's all sorts of different versions of this album. I went with the basic black. It's a 2 LP set. And the 2 LP set, gatefold. There are the masterminds behind this album, Trent and Atticus. And it doesn't list anybody else that I can see on here as far as the musicians go. And it's always funny when you get a band that, like, with the reputation of Nine Inch Nails, that they end up, working with the Disney Corporation. But it is a very cool album. It is very much a Nine Inch Nails album. It's very, very heavy in certain spots. It's late at night and I'm tired. So what do we got on this? 4 Sides of Wax. In it, Forked Reality, As Alive as You Need Me to Be. Echoes, This Changes Everything. In the Image of, I Know You Can Feel It. Permanence, Infiltrator. 100% Expendable, Still Remains. Who Wants to Live Forever, not the Queen tune. Building Better Worlds, Target Identified. Damon Eyes, Empathetic Response. What Have You Done? A Question of Trust. Ghost in the Machine, not the Police album. No Going Back, Nemesis, New Directive, Out in the World, and Shadow Over Me. There's no reason to show you the vinyl itself because it's just basic black. But there is this insert kind of done in the Tron fashion there with the Nin logo. So it is a damn good album. I've listened to it once and I do dig it. So you got Nine Inch Nails on the Tron soundtrack. Pretty cool. Let's see if they get another Academy Award for their work on this one. So that leaves us to the box set that I'm going to show you. Well, box set I'm going to show you is kind of very ethereal, very ambient, and also very industrial. And talking about this Nine Inch Nails box set. All right. Cool thing about this was Trent Reznor basically had enough of Interscope, and he struck out on his own. All right, and he started releasing music under the Null label. He still had the label that he his own imprint that he was releasing stuff under. But he put out this 3 CD and Blu-ray, or actually DVD, which is all the multi-tracks from this. And it's the best way to describe it is, obviously it's CDs, not vinyl. The best way to describe this is it's kind of like sketches for an album. All right. He had put out an album a year prior. Didn't like the way it was handled by the record label, so he kind of got very pissy about it and decided it was time to strike out on his own, which he did. And basically, this is 36 tracks of instrumental bits and pieces here and there. Probably one of you've definitely heard. And it doesn't even matter if you like the song, you've definitely heard it, because that snippet is from track 34, because this goes 1 through 4, and I believe it's 36 tracks in total, which is crazy. And the track I'm talking about is by Lil Nas X, Old Town Road. So if you listen to Old Town Road, which the reason I listened to it, I found out about the 9 Inch connection. I went back and searched the internet and found out where it came from. I'll show you a little bit of the book in here. And I was like, holy crap, he just basically, that's the whole riff, that little guitar riff that's in there on 34, that's it. And like I said, this is just like sketches for an album. So there are no titles. Like I said, it's just Ghost 1 through 4. And, the subgrouping is, 27 Ghosts, Ghost 3, 28 Ghost 20, Ghost 3, and so on and so forth. So, it's got the aesthetic, the box set of 9 Inch Nails, very industrial looking all the way through. Reminds me a lot of Downward Spiral's packaging. So, very cool. Very cool stuff. It's not the type of album you're going to put on at a party and listen to, but then again, what is? Certainly not this type of Nine Inch Nails music, but it is cool to check out. It was a limited edition box that was only released through Nine Inch Nails website back in I believe, the 90s. So I've had it for a long time, and when the hell else am I going to have an opportunity to show you guys? So that is everything I have to show for you for this week. I am headed out on the road, and I may actually drop a road episode. We'll see what happens there. See what happens when I take a trip and actually leave the house. First time, believe it or not, I'm leaving the house on leaving the state in 3 years. So that's that. That's a story for another day. But thank you so much for checking out the channel. Please come back as often as you wish and check out all the other videos here. There's got to be something that I've talked about that you're going to dig. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your patience. Love that you check out the channel. Subscribe. Until next time, peace, one love, music. I'm out. This time I'm really out. I'm going out of town. Catch you later. Take care.